Welcome to Haraami United. I'm your guest, Harps. Now, just to give you a quick introduction to this episode, so it is a part of the brownmunde series, but this is an unfiltered, no holds barred journey into the world of Manchester United. So, what this show is about, we're going to embrace the unfiltered reality of being a United fan. We've got many fans around the world. It's not polished. It's sanitized football talk here. It's just going to be we speak our minds, we dive into the controversies, and we give you the raw truth about our beloved club. So, with Haraami United, get ready for spirited debates, insightful analysis, plenty of laughs along the way as well. And we're going to celebrate the passion that defines being a Haraami United fan. So, yeah, guys. So, that's what this show is about. So, please don't get offended. This is we make no apologies from the outset. So if you do hear any untoward words, please apologies, but this is that kind of a show that it's going to be. So that's the introduction to Haraami United. But before we continue, just want to let you guys know the news that you've all been waiting for. He's finally here. We've got him signed, sealed, signed the papers, delivered today. And he's on the show, Riz.
How you doing, Harps? You well? Good
Not
to
bad,
be
mate. Yourself?
finally be on this. Yeah. All good.
Finally good to have you. I mean, just to let you guys know how important Riz is. After our first show of Brownmunde, a lot of people got in touch. They were happy. They liked what they heard. One individual kind of started listening and said, "Oh, I realized Riz wasn't on here, so I switched off." So this is the kind of pull Riz has. So yeah, we've got him here. We have to work hard around the clock, but we've got him here. So so Riz is with us as well, and we've got a special guest. Hopefully not just for the one time, but we've also got Tej. Tej, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Nice to be on board. Thanks for welcoming me, Harps, or shall I call you Harpel? I don't know
Mate,
what the boys here know you as.
Unfiltered
keep
banter.
it-
Don't worry
Keep
about
it clean, yeah?
whatever it is
Keep
going to
it
be.
clean, Mr. Sidhu. Yeah.
Keep it clean. Not too clean though. No, Ted, it's good to have you. No, Ted is a great United, a long-standing United fan. But you know what? I won't talk about that. I'll let you guys talk about that yourselves. What we're going to do with any new guest that comes on, we just want to know a little bit about yourself and how you come to support United. So, Riz, I'm going to start with you. Just a little backstory of how you became a United fan and
Yeah, it was late 80s. I think it was about a year after, two after Fergie started. And back in those days in school, you had a whole bunch of Scousers. Yeah, a whole bunch of Scousers everywhere from Manchester, but they're Scousers, glory hunters. Yeah, and I went home one day talking about Liverpool to my dad. And I got the dirt, that dirty look you get from your dad. He goes, no, you don't talk about Liverpool in this house. He goes, we're Manchester United through and through. And never looked back since, literally went to the game with him in 99 final. And that was amazing. And I remember at 85 minutes, I was like, nah, I want to leave. I don't want to see the Germans lift the cup, because if you're there in the stadium, you had to see it. The Germans were cocky bastards. They were throwing stuff like it looked like piss and bottles, but they're throwing it at United fans. You can't see it on TV, but when you're there, it was German versus England. That Germany-England hatred back in 99.
Haramis.
And I want to go, and he goes, no, stay. He goes, we've been coming back multiple games this season. He goes, we still got 5 minutes. I reckon we'll take this into extra time. And literally about 15 seconds after he said that, we scored the equalizer, and we were still celebrating that we scored the winner. It was phenomenal feeling. So yeah, it was my dad. 100% him. He's the reason I got into it. Was not even allowed to talk about Liverpool in the house.
Yeah. So you've been brought up correctly then, put it that way.
Yeah.
I was going to say that final must have been crazy. I mean, just watching it on TV, it's one of them ones where you'll never forget where you watched it and what happened. So to be there, like again, it's you don't hear many apnea being at the game. You hear obviously all the stories that they were, watched the game, etc. But being at the game,
Yeah.
Even so-called Sir Jim Ratcliffe was meant to be at the game as well, though there's never been any proof of that. But did you see him there at all?
No.
No, there you go. Then he never attended that game. So yeah, Chelsea fan. But thanks for that, Riz. Tej, yourself?
Me, I got supporting United from an early young age. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to this, but our household, we never really had Sky in them days. Late 90s, it was more so, channel 1 to 5. And I just always remember my brother.
VTV as well, yeah?
Yeah, one of them ones.
VTV,
I always remember my brother coming in, putting on teletext, checking the scores on a Saturday. We all remember teletext. So yeah, it was always like, what's going on? So I think vividly, I didn't really understand it at that point. And then I just remember watching the Champions League final when we won it in '99 with obviously Ollie winning it in the last minute, and my brother just going absolutely ape shit. And then from there, it was like, we support the red team, and then educating me saying, look, you got 2 paths to follow. Similar to yourself there, Riz. Could have gone either down the Liverpool route or the Man United route. And thankfully, I saw the light. Otherwise, it would have been a very difficult, well, the way I could talk about it, difficult 15, 20 years, put it that way. It's only been a little bit of a struggle last 5, 10 years. But if anything, it makes you appreciate being a fan even more. And yeah, and from there, my love for United grew. I often found myself that my weekends were dictated by United. I know it sounds a bit sad, but sometimes if they would lose, I'd be gutted. I'd be sort of allocating my plans around United to a certain degree. And the love has just never stopped, or even after this last turmoil of a bad few, well, in my eyes, a bad 4 or 5 years, not necessarily a full 8 to 10 years of bad reign. But yeah, the love's never stopped, and just literally everything I do now is literally United's a big part of it. I've got my own little WhatsApp group with my United friends, and it's been going now for about 5, 6 years, Harper, something like that. So yeah. And plenty of entertainment in there, plenty of controversy, and Harpal's normally our accounts executive, keeps us up to date with all their financials. So
when it comes to controversy, I think it's usually centered around you. And I think it's probably one of the only times in your life I'll probably say you saw light is choosing United. I think as the podcast goes on, as the series goes on, you'll realise why I say that. That's probably the only time you saw light. So yeah. So thanks both. Great introductions. So I don't think we can start anywhere else other than the news today. Mason Mount. I'm just going to leave it open to you guys. I mean, what do you think? What's your thoughts?
I think it's a brilliant.
Because there's a few fans that they're quite split, aren't they? If I can say that. I don't know about you guys. How you feel?
They should come and manage the club. If they're that brilliant, they're so genius. They should come and manage the club.
No, I always think that.
Guy, I had to respond on Twitter today. See one guy saying terrible, terrible, terrible signing. And he's the type of guy that would turn up at an operating theatre in the middle of open heart surgery and say, "Nah, terrible choice. You cut the wrong artery. You cut the wrong artery first. I would have gone for that artery first." Some people just love a fucking moan, man. You know what I mean? They can never win. So for me, brilliant signing. Brilliant signing because the manager wanted him clearly.
But you know what it is, Rizzo? I don't think it was the signing itself that people had a meltdown over. I think it was the shirt number. No one expected number 7.
You know what? I think yes, but I think even before that, it's Mason Mount. Why is he signing him? There's so many of the better players. Go and get Caicedo. Why are they spending money on Mount?
That's the question though. Who? Okay, if he didn't get the number 7 shirt, who do the fans realistically thought would get the number 7 shirt? And if they say Garnacho, they need to wake up. They need to get off Twitter, man. They need to go and watch.
Yeah, I agree. I think the popular choice was Garnacho, but for far too long, we have just dished things out for free at this club. I mean, prime example, Michael Owen.
Yeah.
What did he do to deserve the 7?
Yeah.
I mean, he started the whole curse of the number 7 thing anyway. It took until Cavani and Ronaldo to sort of fix that, and given how Ronaldo ended, what's the argument that's not going to continue, And
you had Antonio Valencia in the middle of it as well, don't forget, right? And he was a brilliant servant to the club, but he himself said that, the weight of the shirt weighed down on him. That's why he changed out.
No, there is a school of thought, obviously, whereby Garnacho should have got it. He's this maverick player. He can turn the game on its head. He wants it. I think I've heard people say, he's got his tattoos, he's got his hair done. He's flamboyant. He's been putting it on Instagram posts, social media posts, the number 7. So he should have got it. I mean, so why shouldn't he have got it then? He's what almost we'll say is academy through and through. Although we've only bought him about 2-3 years ago, why did it? Ten Hag not giving him?
For me personally, I think the kid needs a chance to grow and fully fledge out. He's a phenomenal talent, and I'm so excited by him by a lot of fans. And he's still a teenager. Let the kid not have extra pressure put on him other than having to, continue to grow and impress the manager and break into that first team and become the superstar we know he can become, right? Adding that number 7 shirt onto his shoulders right now, I think is a very smart move by Ten Hag, because you don't want to give kids too much too soon, too much limelight too soon, too much weight on your shoulders too soon. That's the last thing you want to do. Keep him quiet, keep the limelight off him, let him progress, let him grow, let him evolve as a player. And then you'll get a chance at some point to become that number 7. I've got no doubt. 100% at one point in his career, he will be our number 7. But right now, keep the limelight off him.
Yeah,
that's
I
my
agree
view.
with you. I agree. Let him just play his football. And like I said, he's been coming off the bench last season, raw, no fear. And like I said, Sancho's been playing out there. And I don't know about you boys, I've been very frustrated watching Sancho last season. I know when he did play, that was very frustrating. His end product is sort of like, just literally cutting back, doing a few step overs, then going back again. I think Garnacho, he just, like I said, he doesn't need that pressure. I'm actually a bit worried for him next year. I hope he kicks on. I hope he actually, stays on track and carries on performing well, because I thought when he did come on, he added such a burst of energy, and you could tell he was direct, he was fearless, he was attacking the fullback, whereas Sancho, you always felt like he was going to try cutting in, then he'd just play the safe option, or he'd try to do too much, and he'd always run into trouble. And I found it very frustrating. So I agree with you completely there, Riz. I think it's a wise move by Ten Hag. And just going back to the Mount thing, I think again, people are just over the top. Why are they focusing on the number? You're talking about already a Champions League young player who's already won it. He was a good player for Chelsea. I think he's ranked number 1 in all their stats across the board. So you know what? I'm happy. I got faith in Ten Hag, and I think he'll get the best out of him. And he's a good, versatile football player who can do the not so pretty job as well. But yeah, he's probably not the marquee signing. But look, we've done marquee signings. Where has it got us in the last 8-9 years? Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Sancho was one of them. Sancho was one of them. Don't forget.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but Ted, the issue, excuse me, the issue with Mount getting the number 7 shirt, it doesn't look good on him. It doesn't suit him. That's not from me.
But
that's what I've seen. That's what people are talking about.
Yeah, your brother-in-law, for one, he's not happy, is he? I think he wants to add it to his a million collections of his Man United shirts that he keeps up there. But he often complains about football 24/7. I often think why he even supports them.
I was look at the pitch. Who cares what he looks like? Fucking wear a kurta pajama for all I care. Like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't care what he wears.
Hey, I had that. You remember that Man United grey top, that grey one, that hideous one? Come on,
the one Southampton, the 6-3 loss.
Oh God, yeah, that one. I remember having to wear that, and I still wore it because it still had the United badge on it. But it was hideous. Let's not beat around the bush.
You know what people forget. Just coming back onto the Mount as a player. Forget the shirt number. As a player, look at his stats. He to Chelsea is what Bruno Fernandes is to us. Have a look at the stats of the last 3 seasons. Who has got the most? I think chances, created assists. I think it was. Don't hold me to that. I think it was assists, not assists and goals. But you have Bruno number 1. You have in the Premier League. Yeah, you have Mason Mount as number 2. So for me, the big chances created, the numbers that he's putting up, and if you look at our manager, he's wanted him since his time at Ajax. He's wanted him for years. He's wanted him for
before wanted to Utrecht as well, wasn't he? And I think he wanted
I
to
think
replace
when he was at Vitesse.
Vitesse, yeah.
And then he went off to Derby, I think, after that, because Frank Lampard was the Derby manager. In that period, he wanted him in as an Ajax team. And for me, you know what? That shows the manager sees something in him. And I don't think he's going to be playing a number 10 role that people think he's going to be playing. I think he's in an advanced state. I think that if you watch him play, forget Chelsea and their performance out of it. Look at him as an individual. The guy's got an engine on him. He's everywhere on that pitch. He can come back, set attacks up from the back. He can alternate him and Bruno if there's an attack happening, or we got defensive action to make. Any one of them can drop into that position, and the other one can do the other role in that position. So it makes us fluid. But more importantly, Erik ten Hag wanted him. And as far as I'm concerned, anyone else that doesn't want him, tough diddums.
And we look at all the Ten Hag signings last year. I mean, you could say that all of them were a success. Literally, every single one of them. They added value. I know a few people have got a few views on Anthony, but you know what? You can tell he fits in on that right side. He adds value to the team. You know what he does? He attacks players. Yeah, he isn't going to be a Riyad Mahrez overnight and, have that many assists and goals and stuff, but he adds value to our team. And I think, you know what? He could kick on. He's still very young. Brazilian, he's got that flair. Just hope his off the field antics calm down a little bit, because obviously, innocent till proven guilty, but God knows what's going on there.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna touch on that subject. I think we're gonna have to come on to that topic another time. I think it's a bit too much too soon for this podcast. We'll introduce it slowly. I kind of agree with what you guys are saying, but I suppose moving on now.
Before you go on, Harps, can I counter that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, go on.
So obviously, I agree with Garnacho. Like, we'll wait a year or two to give him the number 7. But a lot of people some fans have said to me that they would rather give him the shirt now, because when Ronaldo got it, he was young, probably similar age. So what's your take on that? Because I'm like, nah, you know what? For me, it's the dressing room. Back then, Ronaldo had a different kind of mentality there. Now it's totally different as well. I can see where Ten Hag's bringing all the likes of Martinez, Casemiro's, but it's not strong enough for me.
I think, again, why Ronaldo, specifically Fergie, wanted him to have it. I think Ronaldo picked 27 or 29 or something like that, but Fergie wanted him to have the 7. Ten Hag doesn't want Garnacho to have the 7. The manager at that time wanted Cristiano to have the 7. Ten Hag doesn't want Garnacho yet to have the 7. So you know what? It's a debate that you're never going to resolve one way or the other, but you got to look at it in a mature way. It's a number on a shirt. Yeah, it's a legendary number for Manchester United, absolutely. But who's to say Mount's not going to turn around and do an absolute amazing job for us, which I believe he will, right? And he's going to earn that as he goes on. Garnacho, let the kid brew, man. Let that kid brew, because he's got something special.
Yeah, and I think for me, if he's gonna get upset over a number, then he hasn't got the mentality. I think we saw it with a little bit different. We saw it with Martial when Zlatan came in and he took it. He kind of sulked. Even then when he got it back, he didn't exactly pull up any trees either. But I think it might also be a test of his character as well from Erik ten Hag. He signed a new contract. He's not going anywhere. He might have been, wanting the number 7. He's put it all on social media. He hasn't got it. So right now you've got to prove it. So that's the way I see things. So to say, like, just moving on. I think it's fair to say, obviously we got Mount. We've been linked with Onana. I think that might be quite close. I don't know whether anybody wants to talk about that, but I do want to come on to outgoings, mainly. But I don't know whether anybody wants to talk about any of the transfers that that we've been linked with. Sophia Amrabat as well. I think Amrabat. I think for me, Onana makes sense. I think the consensus is he's going to be a good goalkeeper. We can see why. But Amrabat, it looks like we're quite being.
I think he's brilliant, man. From what I saw what little I've seen of him, let me clarify that. Yeah, I saw him at the World Cup. He was brilliant. But again, he's played for Ten Hag previously at FC Utrecht, I think.
Yep.
Knows him. From what I've heard from people that watch Serie A quite a lot, a couple of Italians at work. These guys say that he's everywhere. He's all action. He can play an 8, he can play a 6, and he's brilliant technically. Quite young-ish at the age of 26. That's young for me still as a player. And he adds depth in a department where we need quality depth. So technical ability, got an engine on him, works hard, with a technical ability, and can play a couple of different roles, a number 8 or a number 6. So, and if the fees reported are to be believed, then at £25 million, I think in today's day and age and today's market, that's a steal.
But it comes in. Who's he replacing?
For me, Fred or McTominay. I think both of those guys should move on.
I mean, with Fred, you got the work rate of him. I mean, I think you saw it during the season where he just put in a lot of effort. He was all over the pitch. He helped in a few games as well, from what I can remember.
You know what?
And
I promise you, if I got the chance to play for Man United, I'd work harder than he did on that pitch. Don't mean I deserve to be on that pitch. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. I'm just what it is. I think for me, Fred, he's more of a fan favorite, like Anderson was for me.
Yeah,
that's what it is for me. Like I've got a soft spot for Fred. I don't know why, but
I think he's split there a little bit, Akil. I don't necessarily think he's a fan favorite. I think if anything, I think since the whole Keane come out and said the comments he said, where I think don't quote me on it, where he said Man United, if they think Scott McTominay and Fred are going to get them to get Man United winning trophies, he must be deluded or whatever he said. I can't remember exactly word for word, but
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually. I think if anything, a lot of people do respect Roy Keane and they do listen to what he say, and most people do agree with at least 80-90% of what he says. And I think a lot of the fans have actually had enough of Fred because it's not necessarily his work rate. I mean, like I said, I've got a little bit of a soft spot for him as well, and I was really happy when he started playing a little bit under Ole. But the truth is, when he comes on the pitch, the amount of times he loses the ball, the amount of times his first touch is off, and every time he gets it in the middle from, like, say, for example, the defender passes it to him in the middle of the park, you're anxious, you're nervous. You're thinking, it ain't like a Rodri. You're thinking, or Busquets, you're thinking, he's cool, calm, composed, maybe gives it away one in every 15. Fred, you're thinking, oh my God, at what point in that game will he give it away? And that's just my opinion on how I read the game when I'm watching it. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, here he goes. But then, like you said, he does come up with a few moments of brilliance where if he does need to do a number on someone, or he just needs someone who's busy. And I think that's probably why I probably agree with Riz, where I think maybe he does need to move on. I think personally.
Yeah, no, I think what it is, he does need to move on. But for me personally, he's more of a fan favorite. I like his work rate. That's what it is. But there's a lot of improvement that needs to be done with Fred. But I think more or less, if Ten Hag is going to build a team, I think there's a lot of players that he'd go in as well. Like you got the likes of Fred, Tellez, McTominay, I think should go. Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire. You know what? I'm gonna
by the look on Ted's face there.
Yeah, I'm gonna come on to Harry Maguire. So we're not yet, Ted. Not yet. I know you got your stats ready. But what I was gonna ask,
Stats?
Yeah, trust me, he's got some stats.
I love it, man.
We're Manchester United, the biggest club in the world. Why are we going after Sofyan Amrabat and not Caicedo? Why not Rice? Why haven't we gone back to Frankie de Jong?
I think my view on this is it's a good question, but I don't see Sofyan personally being a starter. So we've got sort of plug gaps to fill in the first 11. Let's put it that way. We've got a number of people we need to recruit for that position, and then frankly, we've got to replace 90% of the rest of that squad, in my opinion.
So you're saying the first 11's okay,
barring a few. So we need a striker.
Not the first 11. I'd say more of a Ralph Rangnick kind of type, in it, what he mentioned.
No, look, for me, we need in the first 11, we do need people. We need a striker, clearly. We need another partner for that next to Caicedo. Caicedo, I'm already signed him for us. For Casemiro. At the base, that's your Mount. That's Mason Mount. I think we need a new goalkeeper. And personally, for me, I feel we need another right back and centre back. Right, it's first 11. That's for me. Now, beyond that, everyone else for me needs to be replaced. I'm sorry, it sounds harsh, but to your words, we're Man United, right? And there's a certain element of graft as well as skill that you've got to have. And for me, Sofyan fits those traits. He has bags of technical ability. He works as hard, if not harder, than Fred. He's all over the pitch. He can play a number 8. He can play a number 6. Multi-purpose, right? Multifunctional player. And when you have a bench that you need to fill, then I think Amrabat could do that well. And also, don't forget, we've got an absolute amazing player that I've got very high hopes for, Mainu. And he comes into that first team. That's another addition in there as well. That's the right quality. So that's why I think I would love Caicedo. You know me. You've heard me on Spaces, man. He's one player I would love to have. I just get a feeling, and I can't. It's nothing more than just a feeling that Ten Hag doesn't fancy him. He just doesn't fancy him for his game that he wants to embed at Man United. That's just a personal opinion I've got. So for me, back the manager, because for too long we've not backed our managers. Look back. Forget Moyes. That was a write-off. Yeah. Look at Louis van Gaal. He's openly come out and said, every player I got was my third choice. He's openly said that in an interview. Yeah. Mourinho kind of said as much without saying it because he had under an NDA, this 3-letter word that everyone's talking about at the moment, and is an expert in NDA. He was under NDA.
Those famous
NDA. We're all experts. I don't think anybody heard it before, but we're all experts on NDAs now.
No, so he was under NDA, right? But he was backed the first season. It was so evident. The second season, he didn't get anyone. He got Fred, right? That was it. Right, he got
Fred, Dalot, and Lee Grant.
Yeah. And Dalot was the first signing of that summer, I believe. I remember him saying he's one for the future. I remember very vividly Mourinho saying he's going to be one of the best right backs in the future if he's managed correctly. So for me, we've never managed to back the manager. For me, I want the second season, back the manager again. Back the manager. Let him build everything he wants to do. And if for him, Sofyan is that player, then he's that player. That's the way I look at it.
So, I mean, what I'm going to try and do here then. Let's start from the back. So, David De Gea.
Well,
He's gone.
He's gone. He's got to go.
Are we all in consensus to say, right, he's been a good player, he's been a legend for us?
Yes.
Yeah, he's been a legend.
Legend.
I don't know. I feel that word gets brandished too easily nowadays, and maybe I'm starting off with a bit of controversy.
No. Go on.
For me personally, let me just think of legends: Man United, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, Wayne Rooney, David De Gea. I find it hard to say, lads. I find it hard to stomach. I'll be honest with you. And I don't want to turn this into a let's start bashing, even though it is, this, that. But I've been so patient. And about 3 years ago, I was saying that stick with De Gea. He's our keeper. Stick with him. But if you tally up the amount of mistakes, and forget his mistakes that have led to goals, I'm just on about his just general, the way he hasn't really kicked on. And the only reason he's got sort of like the record he's got is because he's been at the club for so long. That's all it is. And you know what? I'm a firm believer in reading all these, the body language, the packs. You can see that there's packs in the United dressing room and they're all together. You see the way they are chummy on Instagram. You got your little Bruno Dalot, your Martinez, your De Gea's, kissing each other after one little tackle or whatever. Some of it is nice to see, a bit of passion. Other parts of it, I feel like saying, shut up, it's Bournemouth away. You know what I mean? The result should have been buried at the first half. Why are you slapping each other's chests for? It's a bit embarrassing for me. I get it. They got to build that morale and confidence. But for me, I'm sorry, I'm not going to go too much into it. But I feel like De Gea, in the nicest possible way. I think his time has come. I wouldn't regard him as a legend. However, he's been a good servant for the club.
Yeah, I can't look. I don't disagree that he needs to move on. 100% aligned on that one. 100% aligned that I think the game that Ten Hag wants to play, the keeper is very important in that in terms of with his feet, and De Gea's just not there for that. I totally agree. Let me tell you how I've defined it, the word legend, and I agree with you. It's bandied about too long, right? We discussed this on a space. I was discussing it on a space yesterday. 3 things, right? There's another chap on that space, I think Benny. He mentioned longevity, yeah, and what else was it? Winning stuff, right? Winning trophies. I'd add a third level to that. I'd say longevity, winning stuff, and breaking records at the club. So he's got more appearances. You could argue against this that look, there's mitigating reasons, but he's got more appearances than any goalkeeper in our history.
Yeah.
He's got more clean sheets than any goalkeeper in our history. Yeah. Again, I do think he needs to move on 100%. But where I draw the line a little bit is the hate he's been getting. Yeah, he had some muppet that sat there. Clearly, the guy's got fucking. He needs to go and get Viagra because the guy can't get hard on, right? Because he's got too much time on his hands to sit there and make a 2-hour video about all his bloopers over 12 years. Fans like that is what detest me about
that's shocking.
That's my support for him. I think, you know what?
Yeah, but Riz, thing is though, the club obviously don't get it. So De Gea should, he should realize and leave. Why is he staying here?
Money.
Why is De
Money
Gea not, decided to leave? He isn't, he's clearly made some howlers. He's clearly not good enough. Why is he not gone off his own back?
His contract's ended. He's gone.
I mean, look. I mean, just going back to Riz, I agree. There is certain segments and certain brackets, and that's completely fair. I understand what you're saying there in terms of longevity, in terms of obviously sticking with it through the shit time. But De Gea's also been there when we did win the league title, and he had a good players around him, good professionals. Even when he was captain, like I'll be honest here, it's going to lead on to it when I'll go to Maguire in a bit and I'll talk about him. Probably the only one who will probably defend him a little bit. But why is De Gea not captain no more? Someone tell me. He's clearly not got the personality, or he's not vocal enough to, take charge. You're telling me, let's compare him to Schmeichel. That's what I regard as a leader, a legend. I think he's shit, man. You know what I mean? This geezer give you a dressing down, you knew about it. Imagine De Gea. I can imagine De Gea going in at half time and probably, him and Jesse doing a halftime dance a couple of years ago. It doesn't fill me with confidence. That's why I don't put him in that legend bracket. But yeah, brilliant servant for the club. But yeah, I think his time's up now. I think he needs to just move on.
So Ted, sorry, Riz. So I mean, yeah, look, I think we're all in consensus that David De Gea's time is up. He's needs to leave. I think it's unfair to compare him to the likes of Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar because of the players that he had in front of him. When Fergie was here and he had a half decent team, he won a title. He's won things as gone along as well. But Ted, you talk about leadership. You talk about having personality in Manchester United. That crest on your chest. Harry Maguire is the current captain.
Yep.
Now, what should the club be doing with him? We're going to bring a new goalkeeper in. We're going to bring Onana because he wants to play out from the back. Eric Ten Hag does. He wants cool, calm, collected players. Yep. Harry Maguire is not that. See,
for me personally, I was literally forget the stats and looking into it. I look at how when the player first joined the club, he came in and he hit the ground running. And you know what? No one talks about last season enough. Last season, our away record was shocking, right? And now you look at how many away games Harry Maguire played and compare it to how many games we lost. Anyone who can do that, have a look, because you'd be quite surprised. The season before, under Ole, we went a whole season unbeaten away from home, and Harry Maguire played every single one of those games practically.
Do you mean the season before that, before Rangnick?
No, well, Rangnick took over. Yeah, the season before that, when Rangnick took over in January.
2 years ago, yeah?
Yeah, well, let's just say 2 seasons. We didn't lose an away game, but that carried on. into Ollie's next reign away from home. It was more so the home form and obviously just the simple decline of lack of signings and stuff like that. But I think with Maguire, I think confidence is a big thing in football. And I personally at United, I'd say give him one more year, get a proper goalkeeper behind him, because there's clearly a disconnect there. It's like two people in the office who clearly don't like each other. They're clearly just putting on a bit of an act to just be all fake. They clearly don't like each other. But also, you know what? Put Maguire for a solid run of games with someone like Varane, and Martinez for 10 games. He's only played like the start of the season. They played 2 games, him and Martinez together. They lost both, right? But we all know that Brentford game was not exactly what it was meant to be. Those players were hiding. That Ronaldo, all of it, it was just a shit show. It was a shambles. I feel like Maguire has been scrutinised unfairly. However, I still think he's been a good servant when he's joined the club. He's a good pro. He's not exactly like he's a bad professional. He's good in the air. He's good on the ball. And you know what? He is actually a good defender. The only problem is his confidence has been shot, and De Gea hasn't helped him. Victor Lindelof hasn't helped him. And truthfully, look, no one talks about this enough, but how many times has Luke Shaw gone missing in big games? We're going to talk about the 7-0 drumming at Anfield. Look at Luke Shaw's stats in that game. Literally like he gave up, just didn't care. It just, again, media, same with that loser who created that 2-hour video. Oh, let's just jump on it. And that's it. And then that's it. Harry Maguire, we've all seen the fucking videos. And you know what? It is out of order. It is. And you know what? I can give some players a bit of a dressing down. I can fucking give them shit. Like Martial's my normal guy, or I give a load of them. Don't give it to him. I'm talking amongst the lads. I'll say his shit. But I do feel like Rashford will come back to, and I'm always. I think my frustration with Rashford is purely because I love the guy so much.
Go on. Carry on.
We'll go back to Maguire. I just feel like he's been unfairly treated. Yes, he's been poor last season, and when he's come on, he's made it really hard for himself because he's made a lot of mistakes. But I don't think players like De Gea and Victor Lindelof have helped him. Even Dalot, to a certain degree, he hasn't been good. And I'm not blaming all those players on Maguire. Maguire's not been good enough this season. But the season before, he was good enough. And the season before that, when he joined, he was good enough. And you know what? Even for England, he's good enough. And he always is in that squad. So it tells you there's a player there. You just need to stick with him.
So, boys. So Maguire is good for United. But all the other players around him have failed him. And that's the reason for him to fail. Boys,
I didn't say that. I didn't say the players around him.
No, go on.
Did we end it on that clip?
Let the other boys answer now.
All right. For me, move him on. In a word, a 2. But
Riz, he's captain.
Move him on. Doesn't matter. Shouldn't be club captain. Look, I think
we've had Bruno the whole season as captain. There you go.
Yeah, but that's because Erik ten Hag hasn't the foresight to see the skill set that Maguire's got.
I'll tell you right. Let me tell you about Maguire. This guy, the hate he's got is atrocious.
Yeah.
The death threats, the bomb threats in his house, atrocious. Nobody should go through that. At a high level, my view is, for his own sanity and for the sake of his own family, get a fresh start somewhere else. That's my view. That's my simple view on it. Is I'm not going to get too much into, the tactical element. Yeah, he gets picked for England, but there's a system. There's system players. Unfortunately, at Man United, we have got a squad assembled of players that excel at systems that are different systems. They're not, Maguire excels at England because he's a back 3 and he's got 2 holding midfielders in front of him. He's protected, right? So for me, Ten Hag's got a completely different system, right? And he doesn't fit that. So move him on for his sake and for, the evolution of Man United. That's my view.
But then, Riz, let me challenge you on one thing. Then, like all great managers, they have to adjust and change, right? Pep Guardiola did it. Pochettino did it. When they all come to the Premier League, they all adjust and change a little bit. We saw it last season.
Hang on. Pochettino's a great manager.
Pochettino is a brilliant manager. I think we all know he's a good manager. You might base it upon what he's won, what he hasn't won. I think deep down, if you look at what he assembled at Spurs with that squad and with the money that he had, he produced a brilliant squad, a brilliant team, and he's a good manager. And
fair point, yeah, fair. Actually,
yeah,
you know what? Fair point.
But let's stick to the tangent on hand. You just talked about systems and formations. You talked about Ten Hag and all this stuff, right? My argument here is Ten Hag, I love him, got faith in him, everything. Away from home, I noticed a bit of stubbornness from him. I noticed a little bit of stubbornness and the unwillingness not to change and adapt his style. And you know what? It could have cost us top 4. It didn't. It could have. Because we were shaking towards them last 10, 12 games. Yes, there was a fixture pile-up. But it was nervousness. There was a lot of uncertainty and there was a lot of players that he weren't prepared to rotate and change. Maybe it's the first season. Who knows what will happen next season? I'm sure he'll adjust and change. But going back to systems and players, Maguire had so much time where, you know what? He opted for Victor Lindelof. So many games. And there were so many games that Victor Lindelof led to mistakes. And I sometimes think, I'm not saying Maguire may not have done a better job because of how poor he was, but I'm saying you've got to have that willingness to stick with the player, stick with your captain, and ride out that bad spell that he's on. And I don't think Ten Hag did that enough with Maguire this season, in my opinion.
I think Victor Lindelof also needs to go. So I'm not saying Victor Lindelof's better than him, right? That's not what I'm saying. For me, Harry Maguire needs to move on for his own sanity and for the betterment of Man United Football Club as well, because he's not good enough to play for us. He's just would you not give him?
Would you not give him till January at least? January at least, just to say, you know what, come back into the club, give you one last chance, see how you go. Because let's be honest now, with this takeover stuff that's going on, I know you fans, I know you saying no. In terms of
get a first class ticket on Qatar Airways out of there.
Listen, I'm saying we stick with him, but again, it's like opinions. But me personally, like you said, I think the abuse and the hate he's get, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's over the top, and you don't become that bad overnight, honestly.
All right, so basically, if you're saying get rid of Maguire and Lindelof, then I think we need 2 more defenders in then, ain't we?
Yeah.
Because who are we left with then?
I think what we'll do. Sorry, Riz. I think let's go to this now then. So there's 5 of us on this podcast now. Obviously, you're the manager of Manchester United. Obviously, we all know that we're better than Erik Ten Hag, but we've just not had the opportunity to show our skill sets. Aki, I'm going to come to you to begin with. Each and one of you, you're going to have to pick one player. Who do you bring in? And what position you bring him? And who do you get rid of for that position?
Any player.
Any player. You're only allowed to choose one player. So obviously he's going to come in. He's going to go into the starting 11. And obviously you're going to have to get rid of the other player who's in that starting 11 at the current moment in time. Who's that one player that's going to transform us?
Easy.
I'm bringing in Kane. Take away Martial.
My name.
I think everybody's like, he's took my player. Go on then, Kane.
All right, you know what?
No.
Take Kane away. What I'll do, I'll bring in that Sporting Lisbon defender, Silva. Is it Silva from Sporting Lisbon? He's young. Yeah, he's got a lot to learn. I think under Martinez and Varane, he'll improve a lot as well. So just
but you gotta get rid of a first starting 11 player. So you're either getting rid of Martinez or Varane.
Okay.
Sort it out. Go on.
Can I go with the keeper?
No.
What? It's an easy bet.
Yeah, exactly. It's an easy bet.
All right, you know what? I'll go with the first one. Kane, take away Martial.
Okay. Played it safe there. Played it safe there, Q. Afzal, I'm going to come to you. Same question.
Kane's been said. Okay, who do we get rid of? It has to be a starting 11 player.
You got to bring somebody in, and you got to get rid of them. Somebody out of their first 11 as well.
I'm going to bring in Hakimi.
Ashraf Hakimi. I think Riz is just got it again. He's took another
by the looks of that, Riz is loving that. That may not help the sports washing and the Qatari state rumors, but guess what? Who cares? it is what it is. And I'm going to get
But
rid of
you know what
Wan-Bissaka.
though? No, that's fine. But you know what? By bringing Ashraf Hakimi in, you got one badass negotiator, man. If you want to do contracts, marriage, nuptials and things like that, he's the man.
Oh, he absolutely smashed it.
He's the man. You can teach the club a thing or two, I reckon.
I might have to take a few lessons from him next year, but
Just
we'll see.
on him, Afsal, I think there's a. I don't think that one would happen, although that's the one I would have chosen to purely because under a rape charge right now. That was partly the reason why his marriage broke down. So we don't want another one.
Yeah, we don't need.
We don't need another one, man.
Let's
Let's
keep clear of that.
So Ashraf Hakimi, but okay, let's just he didn't do what he done, and we're just talking purely football on the pitch now, yeah. So Ashraf Hakimi, and you're getting rid of Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Actually, can I change that and get rid of Dalot instead?
Flip flopping, yeah. So
well, Wan-Bissaka, you know what? Yeah, get rid of Dalot. Wan-Bissaka's better 1v1.
Okay, that's fair enough. We can do exchange, man. Qatari, we're brothers now. United and PSG, soon to be anyway.
That's it.
Riz, it seems like they're taking Kane. Seems like they're taking Ashraf Hakimi as well. So
Stalling all my players, and I'm assuming that De Gea and Onana one's too easy to.
No. That's already done in my eyes. Onana's coming. De Gea's gone. Well, he's not a Man United player, is he, at the moment, De Gea? So yeah.
All right, so. That's a hard one after Kane and the right back's gone. Once existing starter. It has to be a starter. It can't be.
No. I don't want no bloody subs or anything like that, man. You know what I mean? I want the current starter to be the sub. That's the kind of level of quality I want in our squad. So I want somebody to come in and replace the starting 11.
All right, I would want. It's going to be a controversial one. This, I would say, it's going to be a Haraami one. This one,
Haraami one.
A lot of people are going to be calling me Haraami for this. I'm saying, get rid of Varane.
Ooh,
Jean-Pierre
Varane.
He's a World Cup winner.
And I would bring in De Ligt.
You know what? I thought you said Kim and Jay, no.
I thought you
said Kim and Jay, Kim.
Kim and Jay is gone, man. He's gone to Bayern. He's done. Yeah. Right?
Actually, that's the point.
Tweeted it earlier on. So therefore, De Ligt's available potentially. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying we could test the waters there.
De Ligt's got more mistakes than Maguire.
Look what you done, Riz. Look what you done.
Yeah, you know what? I like De Ligt, but yeah, he ain't. I don't think he's much more better than Harry Maguire. But you know what? I'm gonna go next before Tej because I know he's gonna come out some banded bond.
I think you're gonna say the same as me. I think you're gonna say the same as me.
No, I don't think. No, mate. Me and you, we've not got the same card. We're not the same.
Actually, I've got a better one, but I've passed my time to go.
Yeah, you passed your time. Sorry. Yeah, delete. That's a shit one, by the way. For me,
bastards, you chose Kane and Hakimi, man. Stole my players.
So for me, go on, Niku. No, you can't change it.
No, it's fine. Go on, carry on.
Yeah, you're not allowed to change it now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cutthroat, man. So my player is Frankie de Jong, and we get rid of Eriksen. Do you know what I mean? He's that guy who brings the ball out. Do you know what I mean? Casemiro can shoot.
But is he a starter though? Is he a starter though with Mount? That's the thing. Is he a starter though? Because if we sign Mount, you've got Mount, Bruno, and Casemiro.
We've signed him, Akio, man. We've signed him.
Yeah, but them three are going to be the starting three though, isn't it? So Eriksen's on bench.
No, Mount don't start then. Mount don't start then.
That's a cheat.
No, Frankie de Jong, man. Mount.
No. I mean Eriksen. I wouldn't say he's first teamer now. That
yeah, he's not first team. I think that's a cheat.
Yeah, cheat.
He's not even played a game for us. He's not even played a game.
No, he's
not.
Everyone's a shit one. Yours is a shit one, bro. What are you on about, man? Yours is a shit one.
We don't even know if Mount's going to be before Eriksen.
Yeah, you will. Come on.
Yeah, I mean,
let's be honest.
He's just come from Chelsea.
Harps,
so
who
he
you
can't be that
dropping
good.
though? Harps, who you dropping though? Bruno,
Eriksen?
Mount, or Carrickson? No,
Eriksen.
Casemiro,
Eriksen.
Mount. No. He's on bench. He's on bench. You got Mount in now.
Yeah.
No.
He's on
Like
bench.
I said, there's no starting. He's not in the starting 11. So sorry, boys. I've got this one. Frankie De Jong for Eriksen. Ted, your turn.
I'd go for Kylian Mbappe. I'd go for Mbappe,
Yeah, but-
and
Okay,
I'd take
Kylian Mbappe.
and I'd play him. I'd play him. So this is where I wouldn't have to trade. I'd play him left flank attacking, and I'd play Rashford in the middle, and I would get rid of Martial.
Yeah, Martial ain't a starting 11, man.
Well, let's think about it. When Weggy weren't playing, he was sitting there straight away, and Erik Ten Hag was backing him, weren't he?
Cheated, man. Eriksen and Martial, they're not starting 11s.
No, Eriksen was. He started the FA Cup final.
Right now he isn't.
No. Look,
Eriksen I can live with. It's the Martial one. We're gonna have to readjust that.
Yo,
slightly,
Ted, that's a cop out. Look,
Okay. All right, I'll tell you another one. I'll tell you another one. Then I'll tell you another one. Let's add a bit of controversy. I'll bring in Neymar. And I would sack off Sancho.
He's not.
Sancho,
he's not starting 11.
He's not starting though, is he?
Who's playing left? Who's playing left at the moment?
Rashford. What do you mean? Who's playing left?
Come on.
That was a temporary measure. Rashford centre forward.
That's what he's played most of the game for Man United. Temporary measure.
We're just the system.
Ted, I don't even know. You know what? I don't even know.
You played it safe with Eriksen, though. Come on.
No, I gave everybody the opportunity. I even, gave the other boys a chance. Like, do you know what I mean? So, I think mine's good. Okay, so we've got coming in Kane, Ashraf Hakimi. We've also got De Ligt, Frankie De Jong, and Ted still hasn't decided because he's quite flip-flopping. Do you know what I mean? Whoever. I'm surprised you not said Zaha. I think that's the other name you kind of mentioned.
Hey, listen. Let's not twist this now. I posed a question in our WhatsApp group saying, lads, let me ask you a question. Would you boys take Wilfried Zaha back at United because he's a free agent? And you know what? Would he do a good job for us? And I think he would. But would he come back? I very much doubt it. It was just a question.
Kind of playing up, man. I think, even your internet's not agreeing with you here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there, boys, man. So even the signs there. So boys, it's been a good show, man. It's been good to have you out. Your thoughts and especially on the likes of Mount and Garnacho. I never knew until this morning that a number could cause so much controversy. I mean, if we've got
still buy the shirt.
Yeah, but look, what looks cooler, Mason Mount number 7 or Garnacho 7? It's all about the look. It's all about looking cool. Do you know what I mean? Apparently, the kids are going to buy
the 49 though. It's like it's a different number, make it your own. Foden 47.
And the number 99, I would if I was him. That's different. 99.
69. I've not seen that very often. But boys, obviously, like I said, it's been a great show. I mean, this is one of many. It's the first one we started. Like I said, this is an unfiltered journey into the world of Manchester United. I mean, obviously, all the listeners, please get in touch. Subscribe to the channel. Like it as well on YouTube. We've got it on there as well. Please send in your comments. Any thoughts you've got on any subjects you want us to cover as well. We'll talk about that as well. And as I said, Haraami United and the main brownmunde podcast is here for you guys. This is for you lot. So as I said, leave your reviews and shares, and share your thoughts with us. But boys, thank you. I'm going to leave it there. It's been a great one, and definitely, obviously, with the things going on, the takeover, numerous other transfers going on as well. We'll catch up soon as well. So thanks, boys. Have a good one.
Cheers. Take care.
See you later, guys.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, boys.
Bye.
Bye.